Hi everyone, Kristina here. Welcome to day 8 of the holiday card series. Today I've got something that's really stripped back and simplified. I've done kind of some intense cards the last couple days of the holiday card series, so this one's going to be much more simple and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to do a little bit of stacking snowflake stamping and it's a really fun card. Here we go. This is the really fun snowflake stamp set that I'll be using today. It is called Stacking Snowflakes and it's from Hero Arts. There we go, stacking snowflakes. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to stamp my greeting. So I have some white cardstock here. I've trimmed it down so it's smaller than a card front. And this is some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I'm prepping that cardstock with some anti-static powder tools so that I can do some heat embossing. And I'm inking up my greeting that says Winter Greetings with Versamark ink. And I'll go ahead and stamp that down. Get that magnet in place, stamp that down, and then I'll be adding some silver embossing powder to the top. This is sterling embossing powder from Brutus Monroe, and I will use this embossing powder one more time during this card process, so I'll just keep that off to the side nice and handy. So now I'm going to do some colorful stamping. I'm starting out with Hot Mama ink from Simon Says Stamp, and I'll ink up this snowflake image. And I'm putting it right in the center above the Winter Greetings greeting stamp. And I want to get a nice solid image. And then I'm going to stamp the larger snowflake images on either side of this one. So I'm using Sunshine ink for the snowflake on the left. And then I'll be using Audrey Blue ink for the snowflake on the right. And I wanted to get the two side snowflakes done first so that I would have the spacing of all these snowflakes. So I'm adding this one right here. I like this one because it's really simple, just some lines. And then I'm going to introduce a fourth color, which is Dull Pink, also from Simon. And this is the first time I've stacked these images. I'm placing a larger snowflake right over top of that Audrey Blue snowflake, and I'll stamp this one right over the top. And this is what they mean when they call them stacking snowflakes. You can really build your own snowflake like this. And it looks really, really cool because it's an opportunity to add really colorful snowflakes. So I'm going to take another smaller snowflake and I'll be stamping that over the top of that yellow snowflake on the left, just adding some color. And I did notice that all the snowflakes, some have 6 segments and some have 5 or 7, or they don't always match up. So after I kind of realized that, I'm like, okay, I'll embrace it. I'll just go with it. And I started stacking them all on top of each other, and I didn't pay attention to making sure they were lining up just right. So I added some more on top, and then I wanted to add some stars to that center snowflake. I wanted to add some yellow. So I grabbed a little tiny star from Simon Says Stamp's Lots of Stars stamp set, and I just went around with an acrylic block with this tiny itty bitty stamp and freehand stamped all of this. It was just a little bit easier than trying to line them up within the MISTI tool. So I'm adding some yellow accents here. And then I'm mostly going to be done with all of the colorful stamping. I'm now going to add some die cut snowflakes. So I've taken the Snow Flurries die set from Simon and I've cut out some snowflakes. I actually cut them out twice so that I could get 2 of the same snowflake. I temporarily adhered them to the edge of this cardstock here and then pressed them into a Versamark pad. This is so that I can dip it into some silver embossing powder and then heat set it. So I forgot to zoom out while I was doing all this. So that's why you're getting the extreme close-up of everything I'm doing, but hopefully you can see enough. Hitting this with my heat tool, and then I was able to take each one of those silver-coated snowflakes, put some adhesive on the back, and then adhere them over the top of the snowflakes. So the adhesive I used is Ranger Multimedia Matte, and I'm just using my tweezers to hold the die cuts in place while I apply the adhesive. And as I place each one of these down onto the snowflakes, in order just to keep them in place while they dry and adhere completely, I did press them with my fingertips quite a bit. And I think in one case, I actually put an acrylic block over the top just to give it some weight to hold it down. I'm prepping my card base now, which is some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock. And I'm going to be using the floral tile pattern background, I think that's what it's called, from Hero Arts to add some interest to this card base. So I'm using my creative corners to make sure I get my card base in there. And I have put a little bit of adhesive on the inside of the card just to keep it closed while I do some stamping. I'm using some ink from Simon. This is the Fossil ink color. It's a nice subtle kind of pale tan shade. And I'm actually going to stamp this background stamp twice because it's a really big background stamp and I didn't get a really solid image the first time I stamped, even though you can see I'm walking my fingers and my hands around this entire stamp and getting a lot of pressure on there. It really did need a second stamping. So I did stamp this twice. And after the second stamping, it looked lots better and much more solid, and I was very happy with how it came out. So there we go, you can see how it looks much better. The last thing to do was to assemble my card completely. So I put some foam adhesive on the back of this snowflake panel and I pressed it down onto my card base. Now if you remember, I did adhere my card base closed so I could do some background stamping. So I grabbed a Xyron adhesive eraser and just rubbed away any of that adhesive that was on the inside of my card. And that finishes the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I really love how this playful, colorful snowflake card turned out. I love those silver accents on top as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit more of a playful, simple card for today's holiday card series video. On screen, I've got 2 more videos for you to check out. These are the day 8 videos for the 2 previous years of the holiday card series. And then for the years even farther back, I have those listed down below in the video description. So I hope you'll check those out. Once again, thanks so much for watching. And I appreciate you guys supporting me and watching my videos every single year. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys for day 9 coming up very soon.